Tell us about the time that George asked you to take over.
Taking over!
And really be responsible not only for the company, but taking this into the future and protecting his legacy and protecting his legacy. Protecting his legacy.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is SKYMAN UNIVERSE. Last time we reacted into The Mandalorian episode 4, and now it is time for episode 5, titled The Gunslinger. In between this time and the time we did the last trailer reaction, I keep saying that, episode reaction, no Star Wars news really has come out since then. It's all gone eerily quiet in Lucasfilm, I think, and whether that denotes change, I don't know. Or whether it could be just lying low, keeping their heads down at the moment and seeing what sort of pans out, really. I don't really know what's going on. But like I said, every single time, Kenobi should be a movie. George Lucas should have more input in Lucasfilm. The theme park needs to be Tatooine or something original that people know, and stop pushing Batuu, because I think really is a lost cause. To be honest, and there just needs to be a rethink and a remodel how things are going. Apart from that, The Mandalorian is going great. I'm really looking forward to season 2 and what sort of crops up during there. If Ahsoka Tano comes in, that's great. If Boba Fett comes in, that's brilliant. Anything else, that's great. But as I said last time, don't go down the route of the sequels, because no one, I don't think, really wants to go there. I don't really want to go in that route anyway. I've had enough of all that rubbish and nonsense. I really have come to the end of my tether with Star Wars sequels, rubbish, and what could have been, and how completely it was all screwed up. And the more I think about it, I find myself often I do something, and then just randomly I'll be thinking about, well, maybe if we had Luke, Han, and Leia together, and then George Lucas in the mix again, and then I end up start writing all these ideas down, and because I just want to write my own version, because I'm sick of the Disney version, just the complete lack of missed potential. And I don't really know who's to blame here. Bob Iger, was he to blame there? Or was it Kathleen Kennedy? It's probably both of them, and just terrible management throughout, and that's not how Star Wars should run. Also had a little thought here as well, trying to work out why George Lucas actually sold his company. Now, I hate to think that this is actually a realization, but you just think about all those fans that were pestering him and hated the prequels, hated everything about it, and just went after George Lucas all the time. He had to put up with so much crap, but George Lucas just, in his style, just put up with it and did his own thing, and that was it. But now, if the same thing happens, then it's just completely, it goes off the rails. Like the media's on it, like it flies around crap, and it's just this weird thing with Star Wars at the moment. But I was thinking, well, I hope that George Lucas didn't come to the point where he thought, well, fans are so disappointed with everything I do, I can't please them, I can't make them happy. It's time to let my company move on and perhaps evolve into something. But how it's funny how it's come full circle now, and the fans want nothing else but to bring George Lucas back. I have always been an ultimate Star Wars fan. I've supported George Lucas. Everything to him, he is the most fascinating person, the person who I'd love to meet the most, and who I need to thank the most for giving me such an amazing childhood. And everything that he's created has always brought me so much joy and happiness. And I couldn't really have a bad word to say about him. But I hate to think that his reasons for selling the company was down to people who were pestering him and just really unhappy with everything he created. And then he sold it to Disney. And in turn, Disney just completely ruined it with Kathleen Kennedy. Well, he put Kathleen Kennedy in charge. Maybe if someone else was in charge, then that might not happen. But he had no reason to believe that Kathleen Kennedy would not sink his company to the abyss. Basically, he had no reason to believe that she would not respect and trust or look after everything that he gave her to look after and help evolve into something great. It's to think about the most, if you think of Star Wars a while ago, and you think just how it was the leading forefront of cinema in all aspects of cinema, music, effects, and like the iconic story, hero story. And everyone since then has taken, you know, things from Star Wars, whether it's through in the film or whether it's behind the scenes as well. But now Star Wars is no longer at the forefront, not even close. It is the biggest heap of crap, the sequels, and it's embarrassing to call myself a Star Wars fan, to think that what we had and then what we've got now, and just this is why I'm so happy with The Mandalorian, because it's trying, like you could see it's really trying to save Star Wars. It needs more things like this to help Lucasfilm get back on track, get in the right direction. I think the management really, we all know who's to blame here, and the name begins with K. Complete disrespect for not only Star Wars but also George Lucas and also the fans. And I think now they're sort of paying the price for that because fans have had enough. It's not Star Wars what we've been given. They've alienated so many fans, and for me it feels like they're past the point of no return. Like, I can't forget things like that. It's a franchise which meant everything to me, and I think about it non-stop, play the music non-stop. And then, you know, to have that all set aside and say, well, you're the kind of fan we don't want anymore. We're looking for these new sort of audience, which didn't really come that much. The media I've never had much regard for in terms of Star Wars. I think they just, you know, follow wherever they deem is the most politically correct, or where, you know. But now that correctness is no longer popular, so now they're turning on Disney, and, you know, they're not getting the handouts from Disney now, which is of course ironic and amusing really. But I've never looked at Star Wars sources now through the media. It's all the same, you know. Here's a post, and it's now it's going to be one question, but you won't get that answer until somewhere above, you know, description of 2 pages long of how the film, whatever goes on in the film, and at the end they won't really have an answer for it. It's that same old crappy article which keeps getting regurgitated, and so the media have really had enough with. So yeah, hopefully some sort of change is happening with Lucasfilm. I really hope that Star Wars fans are taken into consideration here. They tread very carefully and head in the right direction. And I feel like they probably are watching and see what's going on, see what's the feel of the fandom at the moment, and I think they know what needs to be done. But I think the Emperor has got his hands on too many things and won't let go too early, and wants to run it into the ground maybe. I don't know, but let's hope the Disney executives sort of do their thing and point Star Wars in the right direction. But anyway, we're not here for that. Considering there's no Star Wars news, I can keep talking Star Wars forever. We're here for the reaction. So this is episode 5, Gunslinger. Don't know who directs this. Chapter 5, sorry. But I think this is one back on the planet, which I still don't know the name of, which is quite embarrassing. But looking forward to this one anyway. So I hope you enjoy.
All hate you, Mando. Because you are a legend.
How many of them had tracking fobs?
All of them.
Maybe one day it will cut it for me, but at the moment, it's a cool way to start the show. Space Dogfight.
Into his count, Mando.
Shoot him! Back! Send Yoda on the guns. I'm here literally every...
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
That's his line. That's the Mando's line. What?
That's my line.
Awesome start to the episode though. But this ship is real. I'd be panicking right now. Middle of space. No power. No sinking with no power? When's you thinking we're in trouble? Power's back. Like, you could be the best gunslinger, everything else, but you could be the worst pilot in space. Oh, it's Tatooine 1.
Copy that. Locked in for 3-5.
I love the exact same shot as the start of episode 4. See, it's made by Star Wars fans, you can tell. Has anyone actually bought a Baby Yoda yet? I've seen quite a lot of them recently. The pit droids just remind me of my childhood so much.
Hey! You damage one of my droids, you'll pay for it.
I've got 500 Imperial credits.
That's all you got?
Credits will do fine. They accept Imperial credits, but not Republic credits on
That should at
attachment.
least cover that.
Even though it's pretty much from the
I'll
same
get you your
place.
money.
Like, come on, why on earth didn't they make this Star Wars theme park Tatooine? I would have gone and lived there for its sake. I would have loved it so much. It's just Star Wars, like, Tatooine is like home for all Star Wars fans.
3 bolts and a motivator.
I wish that she was old Watto. That would have been the best thing for me, because it would have been a proper nod to the prequels and sequels. Maybe Watto can live to like really old. That would have been a really nice touch. What a missed opportunity. I really wish they did that. He's freaking cute. I don't know if I like her or not. Like, we'll get onto that later.
Hey, droid.
Have a seat, my friend.
Is it obligatory that you sit on
Door
that seat?
Pelican.
You have to put your feet on the table.
Come on, relax. It's the New Republic put all her employers in lockdown.
I know the name.
Lockdown. You know that feeling here, buddy.
Here. Looks like you're stuck with me now, partner.
Is he annoying? I'm not quite sure. Does he feel like he fits in Star Wars? I'm not quite sure. All the main characters do. It's the side characters that just never feel like they're Star Warsy. They seem like they're from another TV show for something else.
I'm awake! I'm awake!
Where is he?
Quiet! Oh, it's okay. You woke it up.
Not too shabby, huh?
Imagine if they had like the Tatooine as the theme park, and then like a speeder bike roller coaster.
In Corellia.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. And like you go through Tatooine or Endor or something, like high speeds. Oh my god, that would be amazing. You know, like, such a wasted opportunity. These Star Wars imagine.
Why don't you tell them yourself?
Oh my god. Some people always scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. Oh, I forgot about that scene. Frickin' hell. That was an awesome scene. In the same video.
Get down!
Mando!
Thank goodness for your armor upgrade, man.
She's got the high ground. She'll wait for us to make the first move.
Is that a Kenobi nod? Because if so,
Just watch. Stay low.
congratulations. High ground. No one can defeat the high ground.
Sleep on the job, old man.
You done?
Yeah, I was just, waking you up. Come on.
Get on your bike. Ride as fast as you can. Towards
That was
those
good.
rocks.
I really want to go on a scooter. It looks so much fun. They make it look fun. Whoa. I wonder if there's a new film that sees it or this is probably sad.
Nice distraction.
Or why don't they all walk to go get the do-back? And someone slowly behind with the bike.
A Mandalorian shot up the guild on Navarro.
Oh, have you met my good friend
high
Palpatine?
value.
She's got the powers of persuasion.
That Mandalorian.
Why would anyone trust her?
If I took those binders off you, I'd be a dead man.
Oh, at least he's smart. I like the plot of this chapter. I think it's very interesting. It's very character driven. With the perfect setting of Tatooine. This is tense. One Brett. You done it now, boy? I love those baby Yoda noises.
Be careful with them.
I've warmed her. I like her now.
So
Oh, she's a good actress.
That cover me?
These are great, but have you got something more real? Oh my goodness, I've got shivers. I completely forgot about this. "100% Boba Fett. It has to be Boba Fett." That chapter was amazing. I loved every minute of it. It was so great. I think that's instantly become my favourite Mandalorian episode. Like, I know I've seen this before, but I just couldn't for the life of me remember anything that happened. So everything was like new and fresh again, and now it's going to be embedded in me this time out, because I've watched it completely properly. And yeah, there's so many cool things in that episode. The fact that they went to Tatooine is just the best thing ever. The only slightly concerned is the side characters. Like, I don't know, I always just have this sort of weird thing where I'm trying to work out whether they're Star Warsy or not. Like, there's definitely a specific look and type of people who fit in the Star Wars universe, and sometimes there isn't. And whereas the sequels, they say everyone's inclusive, but they try and, you know, focus on every single person. And really, Star Wars should be filled with aliens and you know, just those sort of different type of people. So for the lady mechanic, she was cool. Like, I warmed up to her at the end, but that for me would have been a perfect opportunity to have a very old Watto in there, so we get to see his like complete life. I don't know how long Tidarians live for, but it would have been a really cool thing to see him move to Mos Eisley or Mos Espa, and then work from there with his pit droids. That would have made more sense, and that would be really cool. I mean, she could still be in it as well, like that could have been a cool duo there. But it seemed very human orientated again, like the lady bounty hunter they were hunting, like perhaps she should have been a sort of alien sort of bounty hunter, a bit like Zam Wessel, and yeah, something different about her. And maybe the boy, I don't know, the boy, like, he grew on me to begin with, or the man, to begin with, I thought, nah, it's like trying to be like Han Solo, but then his character was just a bit different, and there was something interesting in the fact that he was tempted, but then he was quite smart at the end, but then got too greedy, and that just depicts the life of a bounty hunter, which I like those sort of lessons, really, sort of, you know, whenever you gamble, my friend, eventually you will lose, and those sort of things that come across in the episode, I really love. This episode, like I said, so much makes me want there to be the Tatooine style theme park. Batuu, I'm sure it was great, the Imagineers I'm sure did a great job, but I just think, like, it doesn't take much to think up awesome Star Wars ideas. It's the easiest thing. I don't know if it's because I've just lived Star Wars every second of every moment of my life, so I think up different things, but there's just so much opportunity and things which could be awesome. And for the Star Wars theme park, like, anyone could have said, you know, if Tatooine and Batuu was on the table, the choice was on the table, lay it out, which one would you go for? Like, you wouldn't go for Batuu or something new, you would go for Tatooine, because that is Star Wars. There's so much scope you can do there, and people will love, they want to see the movies, like, you know, where the Millennium Falcon was, and docking bays, and Cantina Band, and drink where Luke was, and see all the droids and scumbags around the bounty hunters. But instead it's this weird, unknown planet which doesn't feel like a Star Wars planet. It just seems like a market somewhere, with sort of no story to sort of power it through, or give it, the land, any power. And they try to make this sort of resistance thing with that character, and they sort of dive around and hide away from the First Order, and I don't know why, it just comes across really cringy, whereas Tatooine, it would have lent itself to more sort of hive of scum and villainy, where there could have been a lot of fun involved, and there could have been stormtroopers there, and like an Imperial presence, but instead of having the rebels, which wouldn't really need to be there, it would be bounty hunters, Tatooine inhabitants, aliens, droids. It would have felt like a complete immersive experience, and like to see those speeders there as well, that just screams for a ride, like a roller coaster ride. Now, I don't understand the Millennium Falcon ride. It's basically an arcade game which you can have by the beach or something. I don't know, like sit in the cockpit and fly around, yeah, that's great, but that's not really a roller coaster. And compare that with Orlando, like, I love looking at comparing theme parks as well, Orlando and Disney, I love theme parks. But comparing those two, I think they've gone down the right route, like Hagrid's motorbike thing, that's awesome, like, it's immersive, it's part of the movie in there as well, where they go on the motorbike. So why don't they make something the same, like with the speeders? There could have been a speeder run or something like that, with a row of speeders, you know, side by side, and everyone's sort of leaning on and whoosh, and it gets taken away, and you go through all these trees, maybe through Endor or somewhere else, you know, and get to go through all these places, and that would have been a really cool, sort of thrilling, immersive thing that could have been in the Star Wars land. And the same, you could have done something pod racing related as well, I don't know, but it could have been like Imperial Chase or something. It could have been awesome. And there's so many cool things like that, the Star Wars land. I just really hope, if they ever build a Disneyland Paris, that they go down that route of the original, because I think they'd make a killing. Like, honestly think they would do so well, it would flourish so well, and there's so much scope. And then hopefully, if that did really well, then they can have the opportunity to convert the other two. I just don't think they would convert Batuu, like, they've gone too far. And this is, you know, it's not the Imagineers' fault, it's the decision makers, high-end Kathleen Kennedy. Like, who would choose Batuu over Tatooine? Like, who would do that? I would tell you who. Someone who's not a Star Wars fan, that's who would choose. that and make it that sort of decision. It's all wrong. It doesn't, at the moment, do you not feel like you're in some sort of Star Wars purgatory where nothing seems right, and it hasn't felt right in a long time? That's the Star Wars we're living in, my friend. That's how it is for us at the moment. And I didn't even realise the director was Dave Filoni. Like, it's perfect. It's so awesome. That's why I love it so much. Like, that man is just so talented, and he gets Star Wars, and you know, that's impressive, because I did not know that was him who directed it. So that's really awesome. Really love the episode. I don't know which the next one's going to be, but the only one I'm not so keen on is the prison escape one, on the prison ship. There's just something about that which I didn't sort of warm to. I hope you enjoyed my reaction of it and enjoyed watching it with me again. And I really hope, I think you mentioned in the comments like the 30th of October is when the trailer comes out, or it's the first episode, chapters of season 2, I'm not quite sure. But hopefully we get a trailer soon, and see what it entails and where they go, and where the story's going to head. And I wonder if Baby Yoda's going to change that much as well, because that'd be pretty awesome. And I expect like he should grow a little bit each more, so then every season they get to sell more merchandise. I mean, these are decisions which I'm sure that everyone at Disney Lucasfilm have already, taken into consideration. Yes, maybe. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Take care of yourself, and remember, the Force will be with you always.